Feliciano López Díaz-Guerra is a Spanish professional male tennis player. He was born in Toledo and now lives in the Spanish capital, Madrid. Lopez achieved his current career-high singles ranking of world number 15 in January 2012. In 2005, he was the first male Spanish tennis player to reach the quarter-finals of Wimbledon since 1972, when Manuel Arantz reached the semi-finals. He repeated the feat in 2008 and 2011. Lopez defeated Tim Henman at the 2007 Wimbledon second round in what would be Henman's last Wimbledon match. He is sponsored by Wilson & Joma. In 2009, he played the then longest match in Australian Open history, losing to ๊'ðiað̆ɣera, before the Roger Federer Rafael Nadal final and Rafael Nadal Fernando Verdasco semi-final eclipsed it in time. Throughout his career, he has played in the most five-set matches that have gone beyond 6-6, his longest fifth set being 16-14 at the 2009 Australian Open against ๊'ðiað̆ɣera. Playing style: Lopez is left-handed and uses a single-handed backhand. He will usually slice his backhand instead of opting for the top-spin drive. He is known for his strong serve, and ability to play balls repeatedly on the baseline. He is also a confident net player, and has been known to adopt the serve and volley routine of play during matches. Unusual among Spanish players, who almost always prefer clay courts due to the popularity of that surface in their country, Lopez is an exceptionally strong grass court player, with 3 quarter-final runs at Wimbledon as well as a title on grass at the Icon International in 2013 which he successfully defended in 2014. This is due in part to his more traditional playing style, playing more like grass court legends Pete Sampras and Roger Federer than fellow Spaniard and King of Clay Rafael Nadal. This traditional arsenal includes a big serve and a willingness to close the net. Career: early years: in 1997, Feliciano López made his pro circuit debut in Mallorca on September 29, losing in the second round to Duan Vimia. In 1998 he made his ATP debut at the 1998 Open Seat, where he lost to João and registered trademark Inova K in the first round. He then competed in the Challengers circuit after this loss, making the quarter-finals of Spain F7 and Spain F8. In 1999 he competed in the Future and Challengers circuit. He won his first Future event in Spain F6 beating Pedro Canovas 6-3, 6-3. He also reached one other final, losing to Reginald Willems, 4-6, 5-7 at the Spain F7. In 2000, Lopez competed in only his second ATP tournament at the 2000 Estoril Open, losing to Juan Antonio Mara in 1-6, 4-6. His performance was mediocre in the Challengers circuit, only managing to reach 2 quarter-finals. 2001 was a better year for Lopez, as he won his second Futures event in France F3, defeating Juan Antonio Mara in 6-4, 6-0, and reaching the finals in Maya, losing to Jarko Niemann 7-5, 3-6, 4-6. He also made his first ATP win in the 2001 Chevrolet Cup, defeating Adrià N'Garca 6-3, 6-3. However, he lost the quarter-final to eventual champion Guillermo Coria 7-6, 2-6, 5-7. He also made his Grand Slam debut at the 2001 French Open, losing to Carlos Moya 1-6, 4-6, 0-6. 2002 2005. In 2002 Lopez competed on the ATP circuit regularly. He started the year with his first semi-final at the 2002 ATP Buenos Aires, losing to Nicola S. Massa, 6-7, 2-6. He then followed it up with a quarter-final appearance at the 2002 Delray Beach International Tennis Championships, losing to Anthony Dufoy 6-7, 6-7. He also reached a second round of the Miami Masters, losing to Lex Correggia 3-6, 4-6. He then won his first Grand Slam match at the 2001 French Open, defeating Didac Par Copyright Res 4-6, 6-4, 6-2, 4 Euro 6, 6 Euro 4, before losing to third seed Tommy Haas 3 Euro 6, 4 Euro 6, 4 Euro 6. In his Wimbledon debut, he reached a fourth round, losing to Andra Copyright Tsar 3 Euro 6, 5 Euro 7, 6 Euro 4, 3 Euro 6, after defeating Guillermo Cor ± as 4 Euro 6, 2 Euro 6, 7 Euro 6, 7 Euro 5, 10 Euro 8, in the second round, a match that lasted 3 hours and 40 minutes. This was his first win over a top 20 player. He then gained revenge for his loss to Tsar by defeating him in Lopez US Open debut in the first round 7 Euro 5, 7 Euro 6, 6 Euro 3, before losing to Gaston den Gaudio in the next round. He then reached to quarter-finals in Hong Kong and Tokyo. In Tokyo, he defeated Marat Safin in the second round, 7 Euro 6, 7 Euro 5, his first win over a top 5 player. He also reached the third round of the 2002 Madrid Masters, losing to Andre Agassi 6 Euro 7, 7 Euro 6, 5 Euro 7. He ended the year in the top 100 for the first time at number 62. In 2003, Lopez started the year with first-round exits at Doha and Auckland. He made his Australian Open debut, reaching the third round, but losing to Jans Elena 7 Euro 5, 2 Euro 6, 6 Euro 7, 6 Euro 7. He performed badly in the first rounds in Milan, Marseille, and Rotterdam. He then reached to quarter-finals in Dubai, losing to Tommy Robredo 7 Euro 6, 3 Euro 6, 4 Euro 6, and in Estoril, losing to Max Mnyai 6 Euro 7, 4 Euro 6. He then reached the second rounds of 2003 Indian Wells Masters and 2003 Monte Carlo Masters. In his second French Open, he lost to Mariano Zabalta 2 Euro 6, 6 Euro 7, 0 Euro 6. He then once again reached a fourth round of the Wimbledon Championships, where he lost in the first round to Roger Federer, 6 Euro 7, 4 Euro 6, 4 Euro 6. He then reached two straight semi-finals in Stuttgart and Kitzbühel one-quarter hell, losing both to eventual champion Guillermo Coria. He then continued his form by reaching the quarter-finals at the 2003 Canada Masters, losing to David Nalbandian, 4 Euro 6, 4 Euro 6. After early losses in Cincinnati Masters, Long Island, the US Open, and Moscow, he reached to quarter-finals of Vienna, of Madrid Masters, and Basel. He ended the year with second-round exit at the Paris Masters, where he lost to Guillermo Coria, his fifth loss to Coria. He ended the year ranked number 28. In 2004, Lopez began the year with a 1 Euro 3 record, losing in the first rounds of Sydney, the 2004 Australian Open, and Milan, with his only win coming at the Davis Cup. He reached his first final at the 2004 Dubai Open, losing to Roger Federer 6 Euro 4, 1 Euro 6, 2 Euro 6. He then reached the second rounds of the 2004 Indian Wells Masters, the 2004 Miami Masters, the 2004 Open de Tenis Comunidad Valenciana, and the 2004 Monte Carlo Masters. He also reached the fourth round of the 2004 French Open, losing to Gustavo Kuat in 3 Euro 6, 5 Euro 7, 4 Euro 6. This is the furthest he had reached at the French Open. He then lost in the third round of 2004 Wimbledon, losing to tall Croatian Ivo Karlovic 6 Euro 7, 6 Euro 7, 7 Euro 6, 5 Euro 7. In his next three tournaments, he reached a second round in Stuttgart, the Canada Masters, and the Cincinnati Masters. He also reached to quarter-finals of Kitzbühel one-quarter hell, losing to Fernando Verdasco 2 Euro 6, 3 Euro 6. In the 2004 US Open, he reached the third round, before losing to eventual runner-up Lleyton Hewitt 1 Euro 6, 4 Euro 6, 2 Euro 6. At the 2004 Bank Austria Tennis Trophy, he then won his first title, defeating Guillermo Cor ± as 6 Euro 4, 1 Euro 6, 7 Euro 5, 3 Euro 6, 7 Euro 5. in the finals. He ended the year with a quarter-finals appearance at the 2004 Paris Masters, losing to Guillermo Cor ± 3-6, 3-6. He ended the year at world number 24. He started 2005 with quarter-final appearances at the 2005 Qatar ExxonMobil Open and at the 2005 Medibank International. At the 2005 Australian Open, the first Grand Slam of the year, he reached the third round, losing to Joachim Johansson 3-6, 6-3, 7-5, 6-7, 11-13, in a match that lasted almost 4 hours. This propelled him to number 20 in the world and the semi-finals of 2005 Open 13, once again losing to Joachim Johansson 7-6, 6-7, 4-6. He then reached the third round of the 2005 Indian Wells Masters, losing to Fabrice Santoro 4-6, 2-6, and the quarter-finals of the 2005 Estoril Open, losing to Gaston Den Gaudio 2-6, 2-6. He then reached his first Grand Slam quarter-finals at 2005 Wimbledon, losing to Leighton Hewitt 5-7, 4-6, 6-7. He also reached the quarter-finals in Kitzbühel 1/4 hell, losing to Mariano Zabalta 4-6, 2-6. At the 2005 Pilot Pen Tennis, he lost in his third final, even though winning the first set 6-3, losing to James Blake 6-3, 5-7, 1-6. He then reached the quarter-finals of the 2005 BACA Tennis Trophy, losing to Raid Gangstrom Tapernek 6-7, 6-7. He ended the year ranked number 34. 2006 Euro 2008, 2006 was a plateau year for Lopez. He suffered early losses all throughout the year. However, he did reach the third round of the 2006 Australian Open, losing to Ivan Djubia 5-7, 6-7, 0-6. He reached the third round of 2006 Nottingham Open, losing to Jonas Bja Paragraph RKMAN 3-6, 4-6. He reached the final of the 2006 Allianz Swiss Open GSTAAD, losing to Richard Gasquet 7-6, 6-7, 6-3, 6-3. He reached the third round of the 2006 Legg Mason Tennis Classic, losing to eventual runner-up Andy Murray 5-7, 2-6. He reached the quarter-finals of the 2006 PTT Thailand Open, losing to Jarko Niemann 3-6, 5-7. He ended the year at number 81, 47 spots lower than the previous year. In 2007, Lopez started the year badly, having a 2-5 record at his first 5 tournaments, managing a win only at the 2007 Australian Open, losing to Novak Djokovic 2-6, 5-7, 1-6, and at the 2007 SAP Open losing to Vincent Sbadia 6-4, 5-7, 6-7. However, he followed it up with a quarter-final appearance at the 2007 Tennis Channel Open, losing to eventual champion Leighton Hewitt 3-6, 2-6. He then lost in the second round of the 2007 Indian Wells Masters, losing to eventual semi-finalist Andy Roddick 6-7, 4-6. He then reached the fourth round of the 2007 Miami Masters, losing to eventual champion Novak Djokovic 0-6, 3-6. He then followed up with a 1-5 record, with his only win coming in the 2007 Open seat over compatriot Guillermo Garca ~Łopez 7-5, 6-3. He then reached the third round of the 2007 Wimbledon Championships, losing to Jo-Wilfried Tsonga 3-6, 6-7, 3-6, after he ended Tim Henman's Wimbledon career, beating him in a 5-set thriller in the second round, having been 2 sets up. He then reached the semi-finals of the 2007 Mercedes Cup, losing to eventual champion Rafael Nadal 1-6, 5-7. He then reached a fourth round of the 2007 US Open, losing to eventual champion Roger Federer 6-3, 4 Euro 6, 1 Euro 6, 4 Euro 6, the first set being the least games won by Federer in one set in the whole tournament. He followed it up with 3 straight quarter-finals at the 2007 AIG Japan Open Tennis Championships, losing to eventual champion David Ferrer for a Euro 6, 4 Euro 6, at the 2007 BACA Tennis Trophy, losing to eventual runner-up Stanislas Wawrinka 7 Euro 6, 3 Euro 6, 4 Euro 6, and the 2007 Madrid Masters, losing to Roger Federer, 6 Euro 7, 4 Euro 6. He ended the year ranked number 35. In 2008 Lopez once again had a bad start, but rebounded at the 2008 Dubai Tennis Championships by reaching the finals, losing to Andy Roddick 7 Euro 6, 4 Euro 6, 2 Euro 6. He then reached the third round of the 2008 Miami Masters, losing to Dmitry Tassunov 6 Euro 4, 3 Euro 6, 4 Euro 6. He suffered first-round losses at the next 3 Masters series at the 2008 Monte Carlo Masters, the 2008 Rome Masters, and the 2008 Hamburg Masters. However, in the middle of these tournaments, he managed to reach the third round of the 2008 Torneo Goda Cubed, losing to eventual champion Rafael Nadal for a Euro 6, 3 Euro 6. He once again lost early in the first rounds of the 2008 French Open in the 2008 Queen's Club Championships. He reached the quarter-finals of the 2008 Wimbledon Championships, for the second time losing to Marat Safin 6 Euro 3, 5 Euro 7, 6 Euro 7, 3 Euro 6. He recorded a 2 Euro 7 record after Wimbledon, with wins coming only at the 2008 Countrywide Classic and at the Davis Cup World Group. He then reached the semi-finals of the 2008 Bank Austria Tennis Trophy, losing to eventual champion Philipp Ditsner 6 Euro 3, 3 Euro 6, 3 Euro 6, the semi-finals of the 2008 Davidoff Swiss Indoors, losing to eventual champion Roger Federer 3 Euro 6, 2 Euro 6, and the quarter-finals of the 2008 Mutua Madrid Liga ± a Masters Madrid, losing to Rafael Nadal for a Euro 6, 4 Euro 6. He also helped the Spanish Davis Cup team to win the title against Argentina by beating Juan Marta and Del Potro for a Euro 6, 7 Euro 6, 7 Euro 6, 6 Euro 3. He ended the year the world number 31. 2009 Euro 2010. In 2009, Lopez started the year with a string of first-round losses, losing in the 2009 Heineken Open to Jarko Niemann 2 Euro 6, 6 Euro 7, in the 2009 Australian Open to Gilles Mar 1/4 le 3 Euro 6, 6 Euro 7, 6 Euro 4, 6 Euro 4, 14 Euro 16, and in the 2009 ABN AMRO World Tennis Tournament to Julian Benneteau for a Euro 6, 7 Euro 5, 2 Euro 6. He then competed in the 2009 Open 13 and made it to the quarter-finals, before losing to eventual champion Jo-Wilfried Tsonga 2 Euro 6, 7 Euro 6, 4 Euro 6. Lopez struggled after this, and at one point, he had suffered 8 straight main draw losses in a row. In the midst of his bad run, he won a title at the Open Castilla y Leeuwarden Challenger event, beating Adrian Mannarino in straight sets, 6 Euro 3, 6 Euro 4. At the inaugural Shanghai Masters, he advanced to his first Master Series semi-final, beating David Ferrer, Ja 1/4 Gen Meltzer, and Robin Czar Delling en route. However, he retired due to right ankle injury in his semi-final match against Rafael Nadal, trailing 1 Euro 6, 0 Euro 3. Despite his poor year on the ATP Tour, Lopez did play a key role for the Spain Davis Cup team, helping them win the 2009 Davis Cup with doubles wins in the quarterfinals, semi-finals, and finals. Lopez started his 2010 season by playing in the 2010 Medibank International Sydney, where he lost to eventual runner-up Richard Gasquet in the first round 1 Euro 6, 4 Euro 6. He then competed in the 2010 Australian Open, where he reached the third round, defeating Pablo Cuevas 6 Euro 1, 6 Euro 4, 7 Euro 5, and Rainisha 1/4 TTLE 6 Euro 3, 2 Euro 6, 6 Euro 3, 6 Euro 2, but lost to 7th seed Andy Roddick in a close 4-setter 7 Euro 6, 4 Euro 6, 4 Euro 6, 6 Euro 7. In the 2010 SA Tennis Open as the 3rd seed, he beat Benjamin Bourret, Blaha 3/4 Carvalho, and Rayev Ram in the first 3 rounds, reaching the final after defeating top seed Gaël Monfils 3 Euro 6, 6 Euro 1, 7 Euro 6 in the semi-finals. He went on to win the tournament, beating the 8th seed star copyright Fane Robert 7 Euro 5, 6 Euro 1. Thus, he ended his 5.5-year title drought, and won just his 2nd ATP-level title. His finals record now improved to 2 Euro 4. He lost in the first rounds of the 2010 ABN AMRO World Tennis Tournament and 2010 Dubai Tennis Championships. He then reached the 3rd round of the 2010 BNP Paribas Open, losing to 6th seed Robin Zaar-Delling 6 Euro 7, 4 Euro 6, after defeating Paul-Henri Mathieu 3 Euro 6, 6 Euro 3, 6 Euro 4, and receiving a bye. He lost to Mardy Fish 7 Euro 5, 6 Euro 3 in the 3rd round, after defeating Michael Berra 7 Euro 6, 7 Euro 5, in the 2010 Sony Ericsson Open. In the European clay season, he lost in the first round of 2010 Monte Carlo Rolex Masters to Tommaso Berdych 3 Euro 6, 1 Euro 6. He then won his first clay victory of the season by reaching the 3rd round of the 2010 Barcelona Open Banco Sabadell, losing to Robin Zaar-Delling 3 Euro 6, 2 Euro 6. At the 2010 Internazionale BNL d'Italia, Lopez reached the quarter-finals, losing to Ernest Skull by 6 Euro 7, 1 Euro 6, but upset Marin Oia 2 Euro 6, 7 Euro 6, 6 Euro 4, en route. After he disappointingly lost in the opening round at the 2010 French Open, he appeared at the 2010 Aegon Championships, the first grass tournament of the year. He beat Grigor Dimitrov and Julian Benneteau 6 Euro 2, 6 Euro 4, respectively. He went on to stun top seed and world number 1 Rafael Nadal 7 Euro 6, 6 Euro 4, to reach the semi-finals. There, he lost to Mardy Fish 3 Euro 6, 4 Euro 6. In the 2010 Aegon International, he retired against a 342nd ranked and local James Ward down 3 Euro 6, 4 Euro 5. He then played in the 2010 Wimbledon, reaching the 3rd round but losing to Jar 1/4 Gen Meltzer 6 Euro 4, 3 Euro 6, 2 Euro 6, 4 Euro 6. He then lost 3 straight matches, beginning in the semi-finals of 2010 Farmers Classic to Andy Murray, and the first rounds of 2010 Rogers Cup and 2010 Western and Southern Financial Group Masters. He then reached the 4th round of the 2010 US Open, losing to eventual champion Rafael Nadal in straight sets. He then ended the year with a 5-match losing streak, losing in the 2nd round of 2010 Rakuten Japan Open Tennis Championships and the first rounds of the 2010 Shanghai Rolex Masters 1000, the 2010 of Stockholm Open, the 2010 Valencia Open 500, and the 2010 BNP Paribas Masters, 2011. Lopez started his 2011 pre-Australian Open preparations in the 2011 Brisbane International and 2011 Medibank International Sydney, but fell early in both tournaments. He then was upset in the 2nd round of 2011 Australian Open and 1st round of the 2011 SA Tennis Open by 199th ranked Bernard Tomic and 235th ranked Frank Dancevic. He then fell in the 2nd rounds of the 2011 ABN AMRO World Tennis Tournament and the 2011 Dubai Tennis Championships. At the Masters 1000, he fell in the 1st round of the 2011 BNP Paribas Open, the 3rd round of the 2011 Sony Ericsson Open, and the 2nd round of the 2011 Monte Carlo Rolex Masters. He then reached his first quarter-final of the year at the 2011 Barcelona Open Banco Sabadell, where he fell to Ivan Dodig 4 Euro 6, 6 Euro 2, 4 Euro 6. He reached his first final in over a year at the 2011 Serbia Open in Belgrade, where he lost to Novak Djokovic 6-7, 2-6. He played a memorable match at the 2011 Mutua Madrid Open where he lost to Roger Federer 6-7, 7-6, 6-7. At Wimbledon, Lopez defeated Michael Berger in the first round, former semi-finalist Rainer Shawon-Quarter TTLER in the second round, and former world number 1 and three-time finalist Andy Roddick in the third round. In the fourth round, Lopez stormed back from 2 sets to love down to take down Polish qualifier Angstrom Erkazkibot. In his third quarter-final appearance at Wimbledon, Lopez lost to world number 4 Andy Murray in straight sets. At the US Open, he lost in the third round, again to Murray 1-6, 4-6, 2-6. At the 2011 Shanghai Rolex Masters, Lopez beat 9th seed Janko Tipsarevic, Alex Bogomolov, Jr., 6th seed Tomaso Berdych, and Florian Mayer, before losing in the semi-finals to 3rd seed David Ferrer. 2012, Lopez played in Sydney to tune up for the Australian Open. He had a bye in the first round, then lost to Julian Benneteau in straight sets in the second. At the Australian Open, he beat John Isner in the third round to set up a match with eventual finalist Rafael Nadal in the fourth, but succumbed in straight sets. He reached the semi-finals in Houston, where Isner took his revenge, beating Lopez in 3 sets with 2 tiebreakers. In Barcelona, he beat Flavio Cipolla and Jarko Niemann, only to fall to compatriot David Ferrer in the quarter-finals. In Munich, he beat Australian Bernard Tomic in the quarter-finals, but was defeated by Philipp Kohlschreiber in the semi-finals. After his successes on clay, he had a disappointing grass season. At Wimbledon, he lost to Jarko Niemann in the first round. Back on clay, he made the quarter-finals in GSTAAD, only to be beaten by Brazilian Tomas Belucci. At the Olympics, he beat Russian Dmitry Tasonov and Argentine Juan Marque Naco, but was defeated by Frenchman Jo-Wilfried Tsonga in straight sets with 1 tiebreaker. At the US Open, he beat Robin Haas and compatriot Pablo Andujar, but could not stand up to eventual champion Andy Murray in the third round. He lost in 4 sets with 3 tiebreakers. In Beijing, he beat Americans Ryan Harrison and Sam Querrey, before bowing again to Tsonga, retiring at 1-4 in the second set. In Shanghai, he defeated Kohlschreiber in straight sets to set up a meeting with Novak Djokovic, to whom he lost in straight sets. 2013, Lopez played in Sydney as a tune-up event for the 2013 Australian Open. He beat Ra Machadi in the opening round in 3 sets, but he lost in the second round to Kevin Anderson in straight sets. At the Australian Open, he went out in straight sets in the second round to Raid Angstrom Tapernek. In Memphis, Louisiana, Lopez made it to the final, but was turned away by Kei Nishikori. At the French Open he lost in the third round to compatriot and eventual finalist David Ferrer. In Eastbourne, the week before Wimbledon, Lopez won his first ever grass court title by beating Gilles Simon in 3 sets in the final of the ʻAEGON International. 2014, Lopez reached the final of the prestigious ʻAEGON Championships in June, and had a championship point against Grigor Dimitrov, but was eventually beaten in a deciding set tiebreak. However, 1 week later Lopez successfully defended his ʻAEGON International title, defeating Richard Gasquet for the first time in 6 attempts, 7-5 in the deciding set. Lopez then continued his impressive grass court form into the third major of the year, Wimbledon. He saw off both Japan's Yuichi Shibata and the Croatian qualifier, Ante Pavia, in straight sets in the first and second rounds respectively. He then met the big-serving American John Isner in the third round. It was a match dominated by serve. Lopez fought back from a set down to win 3-1, securing the first break of serve in the match in the penultimate game. Lopez thus progressed to the fourth round where he met Stan Wawrinka, the 5th seed. Lopez unfortunately lost despite having several set points in the second set tiebreak. Lopez has reached his third Masters 1000 semi-final at the Rogers Cup and will meet Roger Federer for a chance at his first career Masters 1000 final. Roger just turned 33 and Feliciano is 1 month shy of his 33rd birthday. Olympic finals, doubles, 1, ATP career finals, singles, 11, doubles, 7, singles performance timeline, current till 2014 Australian Open, 1 held as Hamburg Masters till 2008. 2 held as Madrid Masters till 2008. Doubles performance timeline, current through the 2014 Australian Open. ATP Tour career earnings, references. External links, official website, Feliciano López at the Association of Tennis Professionals, Feliciano López at the International Tennis Federation, Feliciano López at the Davis Cup, Feliciano López on Twitter /English, Lopez recent match results, Lopez world ranking history.